Ladies and gentlemen, years ago I was performing magic in a nightclub, and there was a woman in the front row right next to the stage, and as I was demonstrating my mysteries, she said more than once, very loud, where everyone could hear, "What's the point?" And I finally realized she was not going to shut up, and also it was a fairly legitimate question. So I thought about it and I said, the point is, it's impossible, and yet I'm doing it. So that's what I want to do for you today. Something that seems utterly impossible. And I hope that due to the enigmatic nature of what you see, you will be interested and entertained just because of the impossible nature of what you see.
Excellent.
The first thing that I want you to see is that I have a pack of cards, and I've arranged them in numerical order the way a new deck comes from the store, so that you can clearly see that no cards are missing and there are no duplicates, without having to go through a tedious examination of the pack to prove that that is the case. Now, I'm going to shuffle up the cards here and destroy this new deck order. But if I shuffle the cards, you might suspect me of trickery. And honestly, you'd be a fool not to. So I'm going to ask a spectator from the audience. Dave, would you shuffle the cards? But before you do, I want to ask you, do you know how to shuffle with the riffle shuffle the way they do it in the casino?
Yes, sir.
I'd like you to shuffle a minimum of 5 times.
5 times.
And you can do as many cuts as you'd like as well. Shuffle them, and when you're satisfied they're thoroughly mixed, I want you to put the cards back inside the box and put it right here in the center of the table.
Okay.
Here in this box I have some money, and these are random dollar bills that I got in change at the grocery store and various locations. So would you take a few bills? Ed, I'm going to give you some bills.
Okay.
Jasmine, will you take a few bills? And I have a few left over. I'm going to give some to Dave, and I'm going to keep some for myself. You're finished shuffling the cards.
Yes, sir.
Put them right there where we can keep track of the cards at all times. Now I'd like you to take some of these bills. I want you to examine the cards and verify that no 2 serial numbers are the same. Now, Ed, I'd like you to exchange some of your bills with Kelly. Dave, I want you to exchange some of your bills with Jasmine. Everybody exchange bills, and you can exchange with me if you'd like. And make sure that you're certain that all of the bills are completely random. All right, and once you've examined them to your satisfaction, let's give all the money to Jasmine.
Nepotism.
And I like you to
Manolos.
gather those bills up and put them behind your back. You can shuffle them up any way that you'd like.
Okay.
And then take out one and only one bill. Just a random choice. And once you've made your choice, put it face down with George's face on the table right here. And let me have the rest of those bills if I could. You didn't steal any of the bills when you had them behind your back, did you?
No.
Okay. Now, there's a serial number on this bill which I have not seen. It would be impossible for me to know because you saw all the serial numbers were
Right.
different.
Right.
And I'm going to fold this bill so I can't see the writing. My hands are completely empty.
Well, I'm checking.
And to secure the bill, I'm going to put it in this clip, and I will hook it right here. And to prevent any possibility of trickery, I will cover everything with this laboratory approved bell jar. Now you'll recall that you shuffled these cards yourself. You examined the pack, all 52 were there. Remove the cards from the box if you would please. Put them on the table and cut the pack and complete the cut. When you cut the pack, the card on the top changes, the card on the bottom changes, indeed the location of every card changes. So it'd be impossible for me to predict what card or sequence of cards has
Right.
arrived on the top. take the pack into your own hands and deal 10 cards into a pile right there on the table. 1, 2, 3. 10 cards from the pack which you examined and shuffled. I want you to turn those cards face up and deal them in a nice overlapping row across the table. Ed, I want you to keep your eye on the bill which is in the bell jar, so there's no opportunity of trickery. All right, you could have selected any sequence of cards. You couldn't possibly know in advance
True.
what you were going to choose.
That's as random as it gets.
It's as random as it gets. I'm glad you said that. Here is the bill. I'm going to show that to the camera. And I'm going to let you open up the bill. You didn't look at it in advance. You selected from behind your back. Open your bill if you would, please, and relatively slowly call out the letters and the numbers which are in the serial number.
Okay. K.
K, that's the king.
6.
6, I have a 6.
4.
4, I have a 4.
3.
3,
Another
What?
3.
another 3. Now remember, you examined the pack, you shuffled it
Yeah,
yourself
yes, I did.
5 times. It's been in full view during the entire demonstration. Would you read the next number?
4.
4,
7.
7,
1.
1, that's the ace because there's just one spot on the ace.
7.
7,
A.
the letter A, that is the ace. Ladies and gentlemen,
That
it's
is
more
impossible.
than an uncanny coincidence.
Wow.
It's absolutely impossible. May I hear your applause? Well, I've already heard your applause.
I can hear some
Thank
more.
you. Thank you for watching my demonstration.